Welcome to Behind the Muscle podcast. Today's guest is an NPC bodybuilder. Today's guest is Walter Debbs. Walter, welcome to the podcast, man.
What's going on, brother?
Not a whole lot, dude. I'm really excited to chop it up with you. I've got a couple of questions I kind of like to start the podcast off with in regards to all of my guests. So the first question I have for you, Walter, is who are a few of your favorite bodybuilders of all time?
Definitely gotta go with Lee Haney. I like Lee Haney a lot. I love his physique, man. He got that great aesthetics. And Lee Haney, Kai Green. Kai Green. Everybody love Kai. I like Phil Heath. He got a wow factor. Phil Heath does. So I say Lee Haney, Kai, and Phil.
Awesome, man. I would say that's a pretty those are some pretty heavy hitters, huh? I like
it,
man.
Most definitely.
Yeah, for sure, dude. All right, so tell us, Walter, at what age did you start lifting weights, and then why did you start lifting weights at that specific age?
Wow. I actually started lifting weights at like around 11 or 12. Me and my dad used to hit the gym all the time around that age, man, because I was playing football, and then I was going into the 7th grade or something like that. And I was always getting hurt. I played running back, but I was always getting hurt, tweaking, hurting little stuff at a young age. So he got me in the weight room, and then I came into that summer, man, just crazy. I put on like 10 pounds. But yeah, it was always training, man, with my pops.
Excellent, man. I love that. Okay, so I kind of like to use that question, Walter, just to kind of get a little bit more in depth into my guests, upbringing and childhood. So talk a little bit more about like where you grew up. Talk about, you said you played football. Talk about maybe some of the other sports you played, family dynamics. Talk to us just a little bit about that up to about high school. And then I've got some questions that kind of transition us from that point.
Okay. Well, starting off, I'm actually from Chicago. I guess you say Zion, Illinois. I was there from birth all the way up until I was like 10. And then I moved to Alabama when I was like 10 or 11. Football, played running back at minor high school. Had dreams and aspirations going to the NFL. I went to a junior college in Mississippi called Anawamba. I was there. I was supposed to went to Southern Miss, but it was grade situations and stuff like that. So I had to get that together. So I ended up going to Miles College and graduating there and did a couple NFL tryouts and stuff like that and a couple camps. At the age of like 28, I realized that, I had to hang the cleats up, man. I went at it hard. I had, opportunities. God blessed me on that level. So I had to, figure out another avenue or something else I would like to do.
So talk a little bit more about your dad. I mean, you said that he's kind of the one that introduced you to the gym and to weights. Did you have a pretty strong relationship with your dad growing up? And talk about that relationship for a couple minutes.
Yeah, man, my dad always been my dad actually raised me. I'm talking about like raising like an infant bottle feeding, like raised me. But yeah, my dad was my mom and dad. So yeah, so he's the one got me into like training and working out and stuff like that. Cause he also had a football background and baseball. So athletics was always a focus point. He just loved the athletics and training and working out aspect of everything. So yeah.
So any siblings, or was it just you and your dad growing up?
I had other siblings. I was the youngest, so all my other siblings were like old. My dad's an old man. Like my dad is like 71, and I'm 36, so I'm like the baby. And my oldest brothers and siblings, they like in their 50s. So I got an old father, man, but he always instilled wisdom and different knowledge and stuff like that. So I have an old spirit. That's what everybody says. I have an old spirit. I have an old father. So
what was some of that wisdom, or what's something that you really remember your dad saying to you or instilling in you, Walter, from a young age? Is there something that when I ask that question that kind of immediately pops up in your mind from your dad?
Growing up, yeah, I was the baby, but I was like real quiet. I never say much. I was like that all the way up until probably when I got to like the 7th, 8th grade. Probably like the 9th or 10th grade, I kind of started opening up. I was like really like closed in. He used to always tell me like, a closed mouth don't get fed. You got to speak up. You got to start talking. He's always telling me that. So I kind of gradually got out that little shell. Like probably I got like in the 10th, 11th grade, I started opening up a little bit more. But I was always quiet and I ain't gonna say timid, but I was always to myself, never say, I ain't probably say 1 or 2 words to you. Shake my head, yeah, but I never say anything to nobody. Like I was always to myself. So
Okay.
I kind of got out that shell. He's always telling me that closed mouth don't get fed. I always say that.
I like that. Now, talk a little bit more about football. Is that something that kind of maybe helped you get out of your shell completely? And did that really kind of give you an identity as a young man, as a young person?
Man, football, man, was like my life. Like that's how I used to like was myself on the football field growing up. Like I was that little shy, little timid, quiet kid, but then when I got on that football field, it was a whole different story. Like I loved it. I used to remember at a young age, I just remember watching the NFL channels and stuff like that. I used to try to do different moves and stuff when I'd be at practice on the field that I'd seen on the NFL channels, looking at Barry Sanders and all that. But yeah, looking at the NFL channels, man, and going to practice and on the football field, man, that was my happy place.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you spent a lot of years in Alabama. Or I'm assuming you're a Crimson Tide fan then, or do you got another team for
Well,
college?
man, actually, I'm just like a fan of football. My dad is an Alabama fan, but I'm just a fan of football, man. I just like good games. But yeah, Alabama, they take that very seriously, like to a whole nother level. Seriously, Alabama. But yeah, I'm just a fan of football, man. They're like good ball.
Yeah. Who are you said Barry Sanders? Who are some of the other football players that you kind of idolized or looked up to when you're younger? And then who are some of the guys currently in the NFL that maybe you really appreciate?
I don't know about currently, but it was always Barry Sanders. I had his number, 20. That was my number, 20. But yeah, it was just Barry Sanders, man. Like, the guys now, it just you can't really like the guys. I'm probably about older. I'm their age or older, so it's like, yeah, okay, you pretty good, you know. I'm 36, and them guys young, so I'm considered old compared to NFL. So
Right.
yeah, they all right, they good, but I don't think I would look up to them or nothing like that. But yeah,
Well, I think too the running back position is a lot different than it was. I'm 35, so
yeah,
we're right around the same age. Barry Sanders, Emmett Smith, Marshall Falk, some of those guys when we were kids and people that we probably looked up to. The running backs nowadays, it's a whole different. Football is different. The NFL game is different. It's a passing game. The
uh
running
huh.
backs are different. They have different jobs. It's a whole different football scene in the NFL. Don't you agree?
Most definitely. Most definitely, it's more like a West Coast. They don't line up in the I formation and pound it like that no more. But I guess he's dealing with like a lot of different injuries and stuff too. You know, like they being more smart and more taking care of the ball players, I guess, dealing on the injury standpoint. But yeah,
For sure.
it's a whole
So
different ball game now.
yes, 100%. Couldn't agree more, Walter. Now I want to touch on college just a little bit because you had this dream to make it to the NFL. You said that you had to go to JUCO because of grades and stuff. So talk about college. I mean, what was that experience like for you? Did you finish college? Just paint that picture a little bit for us, please.
Yeah, I definitely finished, but like I went to a HBCU. HBCU, like you party and have fun, a good time. But I didn't even like really get to the point to like enjoying college. I was like I said, I was like always so uptight and focused. Like I got to get my grades, I got to study for the exam. I got practice in the morning, I got 2 days. Like my whole mind was just like football and trying to make it to the next level. So I didn't really like enjoy the college aspect. Like they used to have like people on the yard, like everybody had like yard parties and stuff. I'm up in my dorm room, probably studying, just in the room playing a video game or just relaxing, thinking about practice or something like that, or the game coming up. But yeah, I never really like actually enjoyed college. The 4.5, 5 years I was there, I didn't enjoy it at all.
Yeah,
It was always like about business,
yeah,
you know,
for
like
sure.
something I had to do and I can't mess up, nothing like that. So yeah,
Yeah. What did you get your degree in, Walter?
business administration, and I
Okay.
ain't doing nothing with it.
Yeah, well, I think that's a lot. That's a lot of us in our generation got college degrees, and I don't know if they've really helped out a whole lot, right?
Nah, I ain't doing nothing with it. I just got that degree because I needed something to play football. You got to have a sign up for something to play football. So
Right.
yeah, I should have thought more deep into that part. I was so focused on just football and yeah, I got to have a degree, but I should have thought a little deeper into that part at that time. I was young, didn't know, just thinking about football and NFL and all that. But
For sure.
yeah,
Now, I played a year of college football, nothing special, just D3. But I know, growing up playing sports my entire life, Walter. And then at that point, after I quit football in my, after my freshman year of college, at the time, I didn't realize that I was literally going through like an identity crisis because sports was everything, right? But after a few years and going through some dark times in my life,
yeah,
and then talking to other people through the years, I realized like I literally went through an identity crisis after I was done playing football because I was lifting weights and I was, kind of dabbling in bodybuilding, but that's not the same as being a part of a team and having like a goal and going to the weight room as a team and all this camaraderie, right? So once you finally decide like, hey, I've got to figure something else out because the football thing's not going to work out for me. Did you also go through some difficult times and kind of have an identity crisis? Talk about that for a minute, if so.
man, you hit that round head right there. Yeah, like I said, my whole life was just playing football and going to the NFL. Everybody in my family thought I would go to the NFL. I did some combines. I was all on the news and stuff like that, dealing with my 40 time and all that. And going to different camps, it didn't work out. So I was traveling, training for this team and trying out for this team. It took like 3.5, 4 years. I was doing it. And then I got to this certain point to I was like, dang, like it's time to hang the cleats up, you know. And it was like it was a little stressful because I never had a job until I got like 28, 29. I never worked. It was always like school, football. I didn't even have a job until I got like 28, 29. So when football was done, it's like I'm working these little odd jobs and stuff like that. I'm just like stressed out, like, man, I need to do something. What I'm gonna do, you know. And everybody's always say like, man, football don't work. You need to get into bodybuilding. I'm like, no, I don't want to do no bodybuilding up there in the bikinis and all that. I ain't with all that stuff. But I love working out. Like I love training. Like that was like, let's really be honest with you. Training and working out, that's more of my passion. Like that's what I love doing, training, just scoping my body and just training. That's more of my passion. But yeah, they was like, man, you should get into bodybuilding. My wife even said you should try bodybuilding, give it a shot. So basically, just kind of like fell in my lap at that point. But yeah, going back into the football thing, yeah, I was trying to find myself an identity crisis and stuff like that. Yeah, most definitely. That was very stressful working these little crazy odd jobs and feeling like I should be in the NFL and then work out for me. And then, yeah, there you go.
Mm.
I think a lot of guys went through some situations like that.
Yeah, yeah. So how did you because I see on your Instagram you post or kind of have hashtags after some of your posts, love and positivity, and it looks like that faith is something that is foundational in your life. So
Most definitely.
talk about how you kind of after you got done playing football and you're doing these odd jobs and you're just kind of struggling with, man, like I should be in the NFL, I should be whatever. Talk about how you kind of made it through that, because you're right, there's a lot of guys, I've had a lot of bodybuilders on here that played sports, played football specifically, and then it's really some dark times for some of us when we're done playing sports before we
Hmm.
get into bodybuilding or find another passion. So how did you kind of work your way through maybe some of those struggles after you're done playing with football? Give us a little bit of detail if you don't mind, Walter.
To be honest with you, man, it's about having a strong circle. You know, my strong circle was, family like my dad, most definitely my wife. Like me and my wife, we darn near grew up together. I watched her turn into a woman. We grew up together. So she's real strong in like faith and praying all the time and stuff like that. So just growing up and just being around her and her just motivating me and speaking life into me, um, like anything I said I wanted to do, like if I want to open up a business or go this way and try this, she like, okay. Then when I fell at it, she's always be like, "This, okay, what we gonna do next? Okay, we're gonna go over here and do this. Let's try this." I tried so much stuff, man, different businesses, try to do so many things and failed at it. She was always there. Okay, what's next? What are we gonna do next? Always pushing me and motivate me. Okay, never question that. Just like, okay, let's try it. So just having somebody like that on your team, on your side, that push you to a whole nother level mentally, that helps a lot.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's kind of start transitioning then into bodybuilding. So you have some people around you that are say, hey, even your wife said, hey, maybe you should try bodybuilding. When did you kind of start thinking like, hey, maybe I am going to try this bodybuilding thing? And then when did you start training more like a bodybuilder as opposed to a football player? Talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, that's a big difference. That's a big jump difference from bodybuilding and football training. It started in 2016. Um, Actually, I never looked at myself being a bodybuilder. It was like people kept telling me like, okay, you're a bodybuilder, you look like a bodybuilder, you look good, you got a nice physique. But I never seen all this. I still to this day don't even think I'm a bodybuilder and I look good and I should be on that level. But still to this day. But yeah, I started in 2016, started training. Teddy Zane, he used to own a gym called Flex Fitness. That's the one that really got me into bodybuilding. I'm not with him anymore, but yeah, he's actually started me out in bodybuilding in 2016. He was my coach. Um, this went from there, man. Like I said, I never thought I was a bodybuilder, and I still to this day don't really look at myself as a bodybuilder. It's just like when people constantly keep telling you, man, you look good, you big, you should do bodybuilding, you compete. Like I go to the store or something, they like, man, you huge, man, you compete. I'm thinking like, yeah, I do a little something, you know, man. Like people telling me this, but in my mind, I don't really see it. You see what I'm saying? It's just like this. Like you see a guy that's real big and swole, this big old guy, but in his mind, he gonna think he's small. You know, or you might see a bodybuilder that looks good, or you might see yourself. People might say, "Oh man, you look good. You got big arms. You're a big guy." But then you look in the mirror, you see something totally different. You see what I'm saying? But that's how I am. People telling me this, and I look in the mirror and see something totally different. But yeah.
So how did you this gentleman that kind of helped you transition into bodybuilding, how did he kind of have you training more bodybuilding specific? Like what did it look like then, and do you still kind of train the same way, or has your training for bodybuilding evolved? Talk about that.
The way Teddy Zane way, when I started off training, man, it was like balls to the wall. I'm talking about crazy high rep, just killing it, cussing it, get it, I've done that for like 3, 4 years, and then over time, I started having little tweaks here and there, and little injuries, and then surgery. And I was like, man, I have to change up the way I train. I can't push all that heavy weight like I used to. I got to be more smart about different movements and how I train. And a lot of people see me when I'm working out, they like, man, he got 225 on bench. He big as heck. He got that little weight on there. It's a certain way how I train because of old football injuries and those 3 years of me just banging and crushing weight. But I can still put on size muscle and stuff like that. But I just have to be smart. I done had a lot of injuries, a lot of torn muscles and surgeries and all that. So with him, it was just balls to the wall, crazy heavy weight, high reps, everything. But now it's more of like a lot of squeezes, holding, pushing, pop out 5 and squeeze and hold, lower the weight, go up just a little bit, do some holds or something like that. That's how I train. But other people, they go a little different. But I have to go off of how my body can push it. I can't push crazy heavy weight no more like I used to.
Now, where did you kind of learn to focus more on the mind to muscle connection and slow down your repetitions? Was there somebody else that kind of influenced that? Did you just come across it on YouTube? Talk about that.
No, I just went off of how I felt because I knew I couldn't push the heavy weight no more, and different injuries and tweaks and stuff. So I was like, man, I got to figure out a way to still get a good training in, but not hurt myself. And yeah, I can't go 485, 500 on bench no more, but maybe I can drop down to 315 or work my way up to 315 and then pyramid back down, do a couple of holds and pushes and stuff like that. Or I might do a superset, or something like that. But yeah, it was just for myself, man. It's going off of how I feel. Like, let's say if I go squats, I can't go over, to be honest with you, I can't go over 315 with squats. I don't even do free weight squats. I always do like hack machines or leg press. I load the plate up on leg press or hack machines, but squats, it's no more than probably like 315 because my lower back and knees and stuff and all this stuff hurt. So it's certain movements that I do that people be like, man, you got to put some more weight on there. But it's all with the mind and the muscle, you know. So yeah.
Now, with your selection of movements, Walter, do you change them up on a regular basis, or do you find the movements that work best for you and just ride them until the end? Talk about that.
No, I definitely change it up because you got to trick the muscle. You got to trick the mind too. I might do something totally different. I might go in and end up doing some deadlifts, some crazy high reps for like 315. I don't go over 400 or 500. I might do like 4 or 5 sets of 25 or 30. So you breathing and humping and pumping, your back feeling just like gorged with blood. The whole thing is as how I train is how much of blood I can put into the muscle. That's it. How much blood I can just push into that muscle, just kill it, push into it. And then you're already getting all the blood, then you're getting your food from the nutrients and all that. You're getting all that pushed into the blood. So if I can go deadlift and just fill my back with blood, I can go 315 and just rep it out and just put a whole lot of blood in the muscle. I don't have to go crazy heavy and hurt myself and all this and that. I'm still gonna get them because by the time I get to like 15, I'm maxed out. That just like 700 or 600 pounds on deadlift. You know, you get to that max rep. So yeah, just being smart about it.
Okay, awesome. Now, in terms of your like kind of current training split, what does that kind of look like here recently? Your training split.
Uh Actually, man, it's like I just keep everything just simple. But mostly it just like I count my reps, but I don't no, I don't I count my sets, but I don't count my reps. So like I might do like 4 sets and then I don't even know how many reps I may do. So that's how I do with all my training. So I might on leg press, I might say I'm gonna do 4 or 5 sets, but I don't even count my reps. So that's just how I keep everything, you know, because I'm just trying to figure out a way to pump a lot of blood into the muscle. So if I don't even think about my reps, I just keep going. So I'm just like burning, and I just stay in the burn as long as I can. You know, that's very good for me.
Mm.
So when people talk about like splits and all this and that, like man, I just count my sets, but I don't count my reps. I don't count. I just count my sets, don't count my reps. So
Do you do like a push pull legs, or do you just kind of go in and train whatever you kind of feel like that given day?
train whatever I feel like that given day. Like let's say if I want to train legs, okay, I might just do like probably like some quad movements. But the next 2 days or something, I might go and do all like backside movements like glutes, hamstrings, or something like that. A lot of times I might do glutes, hamstring with back, you know, or something like that. Like my training is a lot different probably with most other people. I just go off of how I feel because if my legs feeling a little tight or something like that, I don't train legs. I might go to something else. I'm just trying to stay away from injuries most as possible, man, because I done had so many of them. And so like if I'm doing a set and I feel like a slight little pinch or tweak or something ain't feeling all balanced, I'll stop. Uh-uh. I go to something else. I might just go train arms or something like that. So it's all about being smart, man. I'm not trying to be 40 and 50 years old, all twisted up and stuff like that. So
No,
yeah.
that's great, man. That is definitely different than I think probably every single other person I've had on the podcast. But you know what? That's the great thing about training and bodybuilding. There's no one way to skin the cat, and you've got to find out literally what works best for you and your body
Yes,
and your
yes.
age. And it's awesome. It's what's it's a beautiful thing about our sport. There again, there's no one way. So now I want to ask you, Walter. In terms of your first competition, when was that and how did that go for you?
My first ever competition, 2016, I did the state show, the Alabama state show. I felt as though I should have won the state show. That was my first show, though, to be honest with you. And I looked darn good. I was actually a super then. But yeah, I won my class. and didn't win the overall. But I felt as though I should have got it. But a lot of times, man, what I know now, it's not really about um, it's about winning, but you're not gonna judges have their own type of bodybuilder that they like, you know. So for me, it's all about bringing your best, you know, because people in the crowd know. Basically, be honest with you, it's really about the crowd. You come out and you bringing it, but the judge might pick another guy for first place, but put you in second or third. The crowd know. So the judges have their own way of bodybuilding and what they like. So it's just all about is bringing your best, you know. Because I've done a lot of shows that I didn't place where I wanted to place. So now I'm at the point now, mental wise, just bringing my best. Go hard and bring my best, and let the crowd get the crowd to show. That's about it.
Okay, so you talked a little bit about, you know, when people first started to bring up bodybuilding to you, you're like, man, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be up there in the speedos and all that. Now,
Yeah.
after you did your first competition, you won your class. You said you looked really good. I mean, did did that kind of hook you then, or did it take a little bit more time for you to warm up to this bodybuilding thing? Chat about that for a second.
Nah, I wasn't really all that. Only reason why I kind of stayed into it and stayed hooked because people were telling me that I looked like a bodybuilder and I looked good and I should stay with it. That's basically, and my wife telling me I should go forward and do it. But mentally, it was like I just love training. I love working out, but I don't think I'm a bodybuilder. Like I just never really looked at myself being a bodybuilder. I think I had the physique for it, but it just with people telling me that okay, you doing good, you look good, should stay in it. So it's like I just kind of like just stayed in the mix of it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then when I started like actually winning all these overalls and stuff like that, and going to national and coming back and winning like 3, 4 more overalls, it was like still didn't really click though. You know, just always people telling me that you doing good, you look good. But one it was 2 shows I've done. It was a national show. Um, dang, I can't think of the guy's names, but he's down in Texas. He's been doing good. He's been killing it. He just did a couple shows. But he looked awesome. Like I seen him, I was like, man, this was at the Pittsburgh show when I competed against him. He looked awesome, but I ended up beating him. So it's like when you go to a show and you see a guy like, man, he's killing. He look good, but then you end up beating him. It's like, whoa, okay, I think I probably got something. You know, that's just like you going to a show, you compete, and you see a guy that got everything like ripped up, the muscle, everything, and you end up beating him. You say, oh, okay. You know, you kind of like somewhat, I ain't gonna say feeling yourself, but you kind of get a little, you know, a little points on yourself, like, okay, I got this. I just beat this guy that looked like this, you know. So that kind of helped out with me mentally too.
Yeah, yeah. Now, from your Instagram, I gathered that in 2019 you won the overall at the Junior USA's, and then in 2021 at the NPC USA's you got third, and then at Nationals you got third. So before we get to that point in 2019 and 2021, your first show was 2016. Fill us in a little bit. What other shows did you do from 2016 to 2019 before you got that Junior USA overall?
Man, I did so many shows. I got some shows that I didn't even put on there that I won overalls on. Man, I can't even remember. I've done a lot of shows.
Okay,
it
so
was it
that's
was one it was one year I done like 4 shows back to back,
okay.
and I didn't even put them on there. I know I did like the Lee Haney show, and I can't even remember all the shows. There was times I was just doing shows. I was going through the motion.
No, that's absolutely fine. So would you say that that 2019 Junior USA overall was that kind of like your first big overall in terms of a national
hmm
level
hmm
competition?
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
talk about that. How did that make you feel when you got that overall victory?
I felt accomplished. Like I felt like I done something. You know, I really did. It really made me feel like okay, like I can go and compete on another level. Even though I look in the mirror and don't think that I got the tools to, but it mentally, like, dang, I want to show. I feel like I compete, but the guys I compete against looked good too. Like it wasn't just like, oh, it was a pushover class, you know. But yeah, I felt a little more confident to go on another level. to do something with it.
So then in 2021, you got third at USA's and you got third at nationals. That third at nationals means you missed your pro card by one slot. So last year was a very successful year for you on the national stage. So talk about just kind of those results and did that even build your confidence more? And then why don't you talk about this year and what the plans are for finishing out 2022?
Yeah, I don't even think coming third at nationals and coming third at the USA, like I don't think it really built like my confidence and nothing like that. It's just like I'm there at the top, so I might as well just go and try to see where it takes me. And at the same time, like I said, like judges have their own type of bodybuilders they like. So I'm guaranteed gonna bring my best to the stage every time. Like that's why I train so hard, training at these odd hours and stuff like that. Having my little girl with me and then trying to put her to sleep to go run to the gym and try to get an hour of cardio in and shoot back or something like that. But I'm gonna bring my best, regardless. I'm gonna definitely bring the wow factor, and it's gonna be for the crowd. But at the same time, the judges have their own type of bodybuilder they like. So I'm definitely gonna bring that part.
Are you competing then at nationals in December this year?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
That's what I'm prepping for now.
excellent.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because right when I got done with the nationals, I had caught COVID and stuff like that. I had lost so much weight, but then again, it's like it may have helped me because I definitely come in crazy lean. I didn't even like I usually get up to like 268, 270 or something on off season, but after the nationals, like I didn't even get over 250.
Mm.
I like 248, so I stayed kind of like lean, the whole time. So, and then right when I started prep, it's like my body just wanted to get lean, and it's like, dang, I had to slow down on the cardio, you know, and I started trying to eat a little more. But I'm gonna have time to really put muscle on because I'm not a big eater anyway. So, like, I have to have time to really get to that other level. I have to have time to really put on some size. But this time, I didn't really put on much size. I'm definitely gonna be leaner than what I was, but I didn't put on much muscle.
Okay. So what's your personal goal for nationals this year then?
Man, I'm trying to get that dry grainy look. Like I'm getting like the past 3 shows I've done, like I I'm getting the glutes now. My 3 shows I done, like I had glutes. The other past shows, all my glutes was always boxed in. Like, I always had that issue with having striated glutes. But the past 3 shows, my glutes was in. But this time, like, I'm gonna be on point because I didn't get up to no 265, 270. I stay like 248. I might touch 250 if I drink a gallon of water or something like that. But I kept my weight down. Then also me catching the COVID. So I didn't put on that extra body fat. So it's like soon as I hit that switch, I just start burning. So then I had to like right now I'm kind of pushing back a little bit. Like I used to was doing like an hour cut. Now I gotta break down 30 minutes, and try to eat a little more because I'm burning. I'm trying to let my body want to get lean. So I kind of like gotta ease up a little bit. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna come in a lot leaner than what I was. But I really want that hardness. I always have the full, and I can get full. I always gonna be full regardless, but I gotta bring it down and get like that hard, tight look. That's the goal.
Do you ever think about the pro card, or is that something that you don't really care about that much?
Um, yeah, I think about it, but it's like I don't know, man. The pro card, it's like because there's a lot of guys that I know that's pros, and it's like it's just a card almost. Like they go do shows. It's like they don't even. I don't know, man. I just want to. I just looking right now. I'm just gonna just take it one step at a time and try to win this this show. But it's a lot of guys that's pros and just don't even really seem like they're pros. They're not really competing in pro shows, or they really don't even place in pro shows. They don't have any sponsors or nothing like that. So really, it's just trying to come on top on the nationals. That's what I'm just focusing on right now. Of course, the pro card going to come with it, but it's just me being focused and coming on top. I'm not really thinking about the pro card. I just want to come on top. But then actually, the pro card comes with it. But anyway.
do you have like a long-term vision for yourself? I mean, you said you're 36, so that's on the backside of being a competitive bodybuilder, unless you are going to be somebody that kind of does some of the competitions for the older athletes and stuff. But do you have a long-term vision, Walter, for what you would like to accomplish as a competitive bodybuilder before you decide to hang up the posing trunks?
Um, be honest with you, I want to be the individual that motivate people by his actions and by the things I do when it comes to working out and fitness. Like I want to be like something like if I post a video of me working out or training, I want to be able to motivate and push somebody to be the best version of themselves. Like just me pushing some weight or just going crazy on some weight, and people see that, and then I might come on there and say some inspirational words. I want that to strive to be the best that they can be as an individual, or push and try to get that degree, or push and try to get that supervisor position. That's what I feel like I'm here on this earth for, is to push people to be the best version of themselves. But I'm gonna go hard anywhere it go when it comes to the bodybuilding and the training. Just wherever how long it takes my body, if I start breaking down, yeah, I'm gonna have to hang it up. But right now, I think I'm doing pretty good on how I'm taking care of myself.
Now, are you prepping yourself for this competition, or you have a coach?
I have a coach, Aftermath Training.
Cool.
Yeah, Alex, Aftermath Training.
How long has he been coaching you, and why did you decide to go with him for prepping you?
He's been coaching me the past 2.5, 3 years, but I've been knowing him for like maybe 10 years. He's a lot younger than me, but he's very smart. Very smart when it comes to the body, stuff like that. And he's more on the health side, other than trying to push it. You want to see like what them organs doing, and your blood and all that stuff doing first before you do anything. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Okay. So, in terms of trying to bodybuild in a healthier manner, what are some other things that you do? You mentioned you've changed your training. Do you go to like the chiropractor? Do you get tissue work done? Supplements, stuff like that. Like what are you doing to kind of keep yourself as healthy as possible?
Man, I'm on all my stuff. I'm on all kind of organ supplements and vitamins and stuff, and different green teas and stuff I be drinking. My wife got me on green teas and all that stuff. So I'm always online trying to find something that's supplement wise that helps the body. Because all the stuff, the pounding we do on our body, you got to put some good stuff in it.
Right.
It needs some type of fuel from somewhere. So, but the chiropractor, I need to start going and get deep tissue massage. I need to start doing all that because my body all twisted up right now, man.
And you know what, dude? When you start getting into your mid 30s, man, I don't know about you, but
yeah,
things feel different, things change, and it's like, all right, like I'm not old, I'm still young, but we've got to be more proactive, don't we?
most definitely,
For sure.
most definitely. And yeah, for me, I just not noticed when I started getting in the late 30s, it was like I'm still young, but it's just like when it comes to like training and lifting weight wise, you start feeling certain things that you ain't never even felt before. Like if I get up on the bench, I'm feeling lopsided or something. Like something ain't feeling right, or I'm pushing and straining other muscles that I shouldn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm at. So I just had to like switch it up and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. What is it you've mentioned several times, Walter? Earlier, you said training and working out is my passion. What is it specifically about training and lifting weights? Not the bodybuilding stuff, but just the training side of bodybuilding. What is it that you love so much about training and lifting weights specifically?
Man, that's a good question. Like it's really hard to explain. It's almost like a I ain't gonna say well, it might be a high. It's just like I don't know, man. I can't really explain that part. I just love it, bro. Like I love the pumps. Like especially you get a good meal in you and you go hit the gym. You know you finna get some good pumps. Like I love it, man. Like it's just hard to explain.
Yeah.
But only people that really would understand is the gym rats of people that's probably into bodybuilding. Those they already know what I'm talking about. Just that feel of just going to the gym and just training and just hitting it. Like they already know what I'm talking about. But I can't. I don't have the words for it. I really don't.
No, no, I get it. Do you feel like though, once football was done for you, Walter, and then you transitioned into bodybuilding, but you continued to train, you feel like that training was that escape for you and really brought you through some of those difficult times?
Mm, I think so. I think so. Man, yeah, you be hitting it on the head, don't you? I think so. I'll be honest with you. I probably is. I really do think so.
So it's almost like a life partner or a significant other, right? Like
Yeah.
it's always been there for you since you were a teenager and through the
Yeah.
ups and the downs. And I know this because I've experienced it myself. It's like I can always go back to lifting weights, no matter how high or how low my life is, or how much suckiness that I'm going through or whatever. It's like I've got lifting weights. It's like that lifelong partner, and it's therapeutic, it's relief, it's like the gym or where you train is like a sanctuary. It's just
Yeah. It's all that.
I get what you're saying. It's hard to put into words, but those are kind of a few words that I have for it. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. You hit it right on the head, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool, cool. Now I saw on your Instagram it looks like your wife has competed. Talk about that.
Yes, man. Like I didn't even think she was gonna finish the prep, but she has a athletic background. She ran track in college, high school, and college, and junior in the junior Olympics when we was younger. We ran the junior Olympics, but um, yeah, man, she surprised me. Like we just had the baby, and as soon as she popped it out, she went to training. But at the same time, because she had like I guess you would say like a C-section, so it's like she had to like kind of alter different movements and stuff like that. But man, she was going hard. I didn't think she was going to finish the prep, but she did, and she looked darn good. And we're going to verge to have another baby too when she want to go back and try to do another show. So I like, man, I'm behind you 100%. But with her, it's just like it's just a passion. Her passion, like working out too. So it's just like I might as well try to go do a show.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, she work out just as much as I do.
Cool, cool. Now, do you guys just have one child or do you have more
Yeah,
than one?
we have one. We have a little girl. She's like a year and 2 months.
Okay, so I want you to talk about how, because you're a little bit older when you had your first child. So talk about how fatherhood has kind of maybe changed your perspective on life, and what type of meaning has your daughter given you?
Oh, um, it made me a little more sensitive, you know, like a little. I say a little more caring and sensitive. Uh, man, she just melt me, man. It's like it's hard, man. Like it's a little girl too. You just look at life like a lot different. Yeah, like when you're tired and don't want to go to work, but then you gotta go train. You don't even think about being tired and nothing like that. Oh, when you gotta go work these hours at this job or something like that, then you gotta go to the gym and train. You don't even look at that. You're like, damn, I got my little baby at home. But yeah, like she just melt me, man. Yeah.
Now we're going to start wrapping it up here, Walter. I want to kind of ask you, because you said you feel like your purpose in life is to kind of help people become their best version of themselves, and pursue whatever dreams they have, and really encourage them in that. So maybe just looking over your 36 years of life, you've had a lot of experiences with bodybuilding and football, and sounds like you really had a great dad that spoke into your life at a young age.
Hmm.
So maybe some younger people that are listening to this and watching this, and they're kind of just like vibing with you. What are some words that you can maybe encourage people with today? Or maybe what's something that you've learned over your years that you're like, man, this was some really powerful information that I learned at this stage of my life, and I want to share it with you. What's something that you would like to share with all of us today?
Um, over the years, just like looking back over the years in my childhood and now, and just knowing how life is. Life is meant to be hard. Life is meant to be not fair. Like everything happened bad. It's part of life. It's meant to happen. And it's supposed to happen. This life is just hard. A lot of times you can't just really dwell on it and just take the punches and just keep it moving. Because sometimes you just sit around and weep about it, man. You worry yourself sick. it's the way life's supposed to be. Like when they ate from the tree and everything else like that, it's the way it's supposed to be. So when something jump off in your life, man, it's just like it is what it is. I gotta keep on moving, man. I'm just brush that on off. You know, that's how our mindset need to be. Because you sit around and just dweep and dwell on it, man, you'll be sick. You know, you'll start withering away then. So that's just the way life is, man. Take them punches and keep on moving. You know.
Awesome, man. In terms of a career or what you're pursuing in terms of like long term, what's your vision or what's your goal for yourself career wise? Do you have kind of something that you're working towards, and maybe does it tie into bodybuilding or not?
Right now, well, me and my wife started this probably maybe like 2 years ago. We actually should start a long time ago, but we actually we are into flipping houses. We've been doing that. We've been flipped like 4 houses already.
Cool.
So I basically like quit my job and stuff like that, and I be staying in Nashville now. So I drive back to Alabama because we have a house there and do some work in the house and stuff like that. So that's been our focus point, is getting these houses together and putting them on the market and selling them. So yeah, this is be our going on to our fourth house. So that's what we've been doing. But we should have did this a long time ago. It was just like, you know, how sometimes you talk about something and say what things you're gonna do and you want to do, but not really jump out there and do it. So that's basically what we did like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Just basically just jumped out there on faith and just jumped out there and did it. Because this was something we've been talking about for years. So that's where I'm at right now. Trying to get that together and some other property going. So yeah.
So do you do all the flipping yourself? Are you like a carpenter type person or what?
Growing up, man, my dad had me doing all kind of stuff dealing with a house. So, and then, you know, you got YouTube and Pinterest and stuff like that. So you get a lot of ideas and stuff like that. But the only thing is like trial and error, man. Like just jump on there and just try it. And you might mess up and you got to go back and probably hire someone else to fix it. But yeah, I do a lot myself. My father-in-law, and then we also hire other contractors to come in, like just do the electrical type stuff. We do the flooring. I did the flooring and stuff like that, the painting and all the other accessory type stuff. But the major stuff like the electrical and the plumbing, we hire people to do that. I don't do any electrical or plumbing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just like the cosmetic, painting, doorknobs, the flooring. I did a little framing and stuff like that, with the sheetrocking and all that stuff like that. So stuff like that on the house, but not the major stuff, the electrical and plumbing.
Awesome, man. See, that's why I love Behind the Muscle podcast, because you know we get to see the muscle and all of that stuff on Instagram, but we get to, through the podcast, man, we get to learn more about Walter and just kind of all the things that makes you you, and all the other coaches and athletes that have been on here. So Walter, we're gonna kind of end it right there. Before I do a really quick outro, I want to kind of turn it over to you. If you have any final thoughts, any final words for us, why don't you give us your Instagram, any shout outs? The platform is yours. I'll do a really quick outro and then that'll be a wrap. So go for it, my man.
Yeah, it's all love, man. Instagram is silverback_Debbs. I will be doing the nationals in December. Like I said, I am going to bring my best, and I always try to bring my best. And I pray that everything and anything that I say or do on a video or when you see me, that it can motivate you to be the best version of yourself. Go and get that degree. Go and get that supervisor position, and also speak life into somebody else, and we can keep that thing going, man. Love and positivity. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam. Love y'all, man.
All right, man. Thank you so much, Walter, for sharing your bodybuilding story. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to do a quick outro and then I'll let you go. All right.
All right.
All of you who are tuning in to another episode of Behind the Muscle podcast, I just want to say thank you so very much. I would just ask that all of you would please hit that subscribe button on YouTube, and also take this episode with Walter, share it on your Instagram stories. Make sure you tag Walter, tag Behind the Muscle, so that we know you listened specifically to this episode and found great value in it, in which I know you did. And then finally, I will leave you all with this. Remember, behind the muscle, there's always a story. We'll catch you guys later.